Hi there, my name is Steven Sheps from GoFleet. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my product presentation for all of our fleet management, all of our vehicle tracking devices, anything relating to your employees on the road and outside of your office. So here's a little bit of an agenda of what we are going to go through today. What I'm going to do is I am going to walk you through a little bit about GoFleet and who we are as a company. I'm going to take you through some of the success stories, some of the statistics and figures our clients are actually seeing with their vehicles out and about. I'm going to walk you through our hardware itself, some details and some features and some, quick views of the fleet management software. And then feel free to email me in any questions you might have, any more features you might want some more detail about. So GoFleet, who are we? It's a great question. As a company, we've been around for more than a decade. We have offices in Canada, the United States, and the UAE. But primarily what we are is a software company. We are a company that prides itself on being able to create integrations between various different software systems and using those integrations to create value for the clients. It's all about allowing a client to achieve industry leadership and to be innovative, to be ahead of their competitors by using our products and linking them together in unique ways. Some of the major pillars of our product are productivity, safety, fleet optimization, compliance, and the ability to expand. Now, here's a little bit about those specific products. So we've got cameras, 360, night vision cameras, just about anything that you can think of. We've got the ability to do routing and dispatching for your vehicles to get to the to customer locations, employee locations, what have you. The ability to track your assets and trailers with powered and non-powered assets. The ability to use mobile forms to remove all paperwork that the employees are used to using. Compliance-related tools for ELD, DVIR, and IFTA, maintenance and diagnostics, going from parts ordering to actually completing those work orders, driver training in cab, out of cab, emailed reports for drivers, fuel management, so we can track fuel and going into the vehicles, coming out of the vehicles, and track vehicles' performance against one another, connected sensors, which I've got a whole section about, and overarchingly, we deal with fleet management. So here are some of the examples of what we can do, how we can actually integrate some systems, how we can put things together, as I previously mentioned. So we can take a variety of different GPS tracking solutions and we can integrate that information into existing systems. So I can get, let's say, fuel fill-ups information and tie that in with a GPS location to make sure that the credit card location matches up to where the vehicle was. I can get mapping information, and therefore we can put in custom map overlays to let you know when the last time we traveled down a route was, or when the last time, a garbage pickup occurred. It's all in your hands. Anything you're looking for, we can achieve on your behalf. And if you're thinking about it, I'm sure some of our other clients have as well. And that's how we maintain our industry leadership as a company for GoFleet, actually. Some of our top fleets are, companies that you would definitely recognize. There are a lot of big names on here. So we've got Foss Leasing, Burnbrae Farms, Aecon, Boston Pizza, Emirates Airlines, San Antonio Water Systems, and more. We would love to add your logo to these list of clients we support, and we would love to be able to offer you the same level of service that we offer these clients. Doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, we offer the same level of care with each and every account. Now, as I said, there are definitely some achievable results our clients have actually seen through the implementation of this GPS tracking system. Some of our clients have seen statistics such as 84% reduction in speeding and time spent speeding. We've seen 20% reduction in actual speeding incidences and the number of times a driver went beyond a given speed. 50% reduction in idling, 70% reduction in maintenance costs due to getting rid of a lot of unplanned maintenance on the side of the road. Overwhelmingly, our clients are seeing increases in productivity, with some of those clients seeing upwards of 40% increase. Some of our clients are getting 2 or 3 more deliveries a day, and they're using these statistics, these figures, to actually come up with realistic figures for when the return on investment is, how fast it takes to actually get paid by using this system. Some of our clients can see a 1 to 2 year payback period by using cameras and telematics. That's not even just the GPS units itself, cameras and telematics, 1 to 2 years, because you get into one accident and you're able to prove that you're not at fault. You're able to prove that you shouldn't be the one who's getting, who's having the lawsuit, who's having the insurance increases for it. That's going to pay for the GPS and cameras. Now, as a basis, our major our major system for telematics has a fantastic backbone, and that backbone's name is Geotab. Geotab is the #1 telematics provider in the world right now, with 18% of top fleets worldwide choosing Geotab as their provider. Geotab is also a leader in number of connected vehicles, I believe 2 or 3 or so, with about more than 2 million vehicles connected at this point, including a contract for upwards of 250,000 U.S. governmental fleet vehicles. So the whole GSA contract actually belongs to Geotab. And why is that? Well, it's about Geotab's ability to constantly improve, ability to innovate, and specifically its ability to put data security first. Geotab is the only product out there with a FIPS Level 2 certification, meaning that your data can be fully trusted and that these devices are unlikely to be sunsetted due to data security reasons. So you can be certain that if you're purchasing from us, these devices are going to last 2, 3, 5, 7 years into the future. And in a lot of cases, we've got clients who are actually using devices that are that old. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about how this hardware actually does get installed. So here what you can see on the left-hand side is a video of that OBD port within the vehicle. The OBD port can be found right around the steering column of the driver, right around the left knee. So what we're doing here is we're actually just doing a straight plug and play, and we are just sticking this in, zip tying it in place to make sure it can't be accidentally removed. In the picture on the right-hand side, what you can actually see is some of the various possibilities for expansion, how we can actually go just beyond the telematics device into other pieces of hardware. So as an example, I've got things like verbal text-to-voice communicator, so the driver can hear things like speeding violation or going too fast. I've got temperature trackers. I've got key fobs for driver identification. It's all about what sort of hardware you're looking for. It's all about the solution that you need. And here on this next slide is actually an example of what that looks like with some of our heavy-duty clients. So as an example, as I said, you can see here temperature monitoring, dash cameras, driver-facing cameras, road-facing cameras, rear cameras, solar trackers on the trailers, tire pressure monitoring, a tablet for ELD, DVIR, and HOS, routing and dispatching coming in, and more. It's all about the uniqueness of the solution. It's all about your specific problems that you're having. If your drivers don't speed, well, we don't need anything to protect against speeding. But if your drivers forget to log in on their cell phones, well, maybe we need a tool for the cell phone to actually management and automate that turning on when the client reaches a geofence or a specific location. So as I said in the last slide, there are a variety of ways that we can actually track not only your vehicles, but your trailers themselves as well. So here are some of our trailer tracking technologies. We've got everything from battery powered, hardwired, solar, rechargeable batteries, and more. We can do anything you're looking for. It's just about you telling us why you're looking to track your assets, what you're hoping to accomplish with the trackers, and how often we actually need to be getting those location updates. And beyond actually tracking those trailers themselves, we can track basically any information coming from a trailer, coming from other sorts of, electric components on your vehicle. So if we've got, let's say in the event of your brakes, we can do the lights on your brakes. We can do the air tank for your air brakes if you've got it. We can do the brake strokes. It's, any information that normally can come through a TPMS, through a brake system, we can, review that information, we can understand it, and we can put it out to you up in the cloud in a reasonable and readable and understandable format. So any information, we take those pulses. We take the electrical information and we say, this is what it actually means, trying to give you actionable information that you can work off of to improve your service offered. So now that we've covered all of the hardware, why don't I walk you through a little bit about what the software itself looks like. So here on the left, what we're looking at is actually a live view of the trucks pulling onto a highway. We can see the trucks literally driving down the road and see them moving through the curves. On the right-hand side, you get what's called our trips history view. So this is actually the start time, the stop time, and the total idle time for each trip the vehicle has made throughout the day. You would then graphically see these trips on the map, allowing you to easily identify where the vehicles have been throughout the city. If you've got multiple vehicles, they could all show up on the same map, showing you where they are in relative to one another, allowing you to do things like dispatch or assign work orders to your drivers. And on the note of dispatches and work orders, here's actually what the mobile app looks like for the driver. So the driver is actually able to come in here and view all this information. Firstly, they can set their driving status. They can change if they're on duty, off duty, sleeper berth, driving. And we can actually do anything relating to messaging or driver vehicle inspection reports. So what we're doing here on the right-hand side on the tablet is actually a quick driver vehicle inspection report, a pre-trip inspection. So we can go through the inspection. We can basically see all the various components of a vehicle that may have problems. We can select the component of the vehicle that has any issues, and then we can actually send that information over to management, allowing management to complete a work order, order some new parts, or identify it as a non-problematic issue. So in this case, we're actually creating a work order or a DVIR for tires that are bulging, and now this information will be signed off by the driver, and it's actually going to be, as I said, sent up to the cloud where the administrator can view this information. And so now we've got the DVIR, we've got the actual report, we've got the information. How do we handle that? Well, it's a great question. So how we handle that information is we actually take it into our Zendu maintenance platform. So we can actually take in things like odometer, engine hours, faults, driver vehicle inspection reports, and we can turn that into a work order. We can turn that into our purchasing. We can turn that into an app for our technician to actually sign off on that work completed. And if we don't need that maintenance platform, that's no problem. We can create basic things like reminder rules. So, every 3,000 kilometers, we want the driver to, we want the driver's vehicle to say, hey, we need an oil change. And that way the administrator can get on the oil change as needed in a timely fashion. It's all about reducing unplanned maintenance and reducing time spent broken down on the side of the road. It's much cheaper for your vehicle to be broken down and no driver to be wasting their time than it is just for the vehicle itself to be broken down in a shop. So building onto that phone solution I was previously mentioned, that phone can actually be used for a variety of different things beyond just DVIRs and messaging. We can actually use that phone and turn it into its own tracking device, allowing us to actually get the full suite of reporting that's normally available through any GPS tracking unit. So I can get, in terms of using that phone, I can do things like forms, I can get signatures from the clients, I can message a driver to dispatch them, I can do optimization for the routes that they're actually traveling on, and then I can get an ETA for the client when it's actually on their way to delivery. So if you've ever gotten, if you've ever had a service appointment from a big telecom or a service appointment from basically anybody this day and age, they give you a window. Let's say 8 to 4, a.m. That's when we're going to drop it off. That's when we're going to be there to fix your air conditioner. And that's not very good. Wouldn't it be great if you were able to know, my technician just finished at the last stop right now. It's 9:45 and he's across town, so he'll be here at 10:30. It's much more useful for your clients because they can make actual decisions to help themselves and assist their timing based on you giving them this valuable data. So what does the data actually look like within the system? Well, there's a lot of it, and I wish I could actually run you through every report. I wish I could take you through every piece of information because this is so useful for a large amount of my clients. That said, reports focus on about 4 major categories. We have compliance, we have expandability, we have productivity, and we have safety. On top of that, I have a lot of different system measurements as well. So I can get any information on the maintenance that's been done, drivers, who's logging into the system, who's behind the wheel, the cameras, how often we're getting reports, how often we're having incidences, and even the telematics devices itself, how often the device is working, not working, giving problematic measurements or whatnot. And these devices really, beyond even these measurements, these devices can do so much more. So as an example, one of the things that we've actually been building over the last couple of years is what's called an EV suitability assessment. So this is the ability for the telematics device to record all information coming into your vehicle and for us to actually suggest replacement electric vehicles for your current gas fleet. So we would take a look at the total mileage that you're driving, the locations that you're driving, what the charging system looks like out there, and we would actually recommend, hey, based on, if we replaced your 6-seater, your 5-seater Honda Accord, we could replace it maybe with a Tesla. And the Tesla would see a cost-benefit analysis at this given level. So we've actually spent so much time working with a variety of manufacturers to get this sort of granular data. We've built relationships with so many original equipment manufacturers because we know how important it is to understand how those vehicles act and what type of vehicles make sense to use. So if you take a look at this list on the right in the OEM section, you can actually see some things like GM, Ford, John Deere, International, Cat, and what we've done is we've built these relationships such that there may actually even be a GPS built into these vehicles. So if you have a newer model Ford, there's a GPS in there if it's 2019 and you are a fleet customer. If there's a newer year GM vehicle, same thing, 2015 or newer OnStar compatible vehicles, I can actually take that GPS and turn it on in my back end, meaning lower hardware costs for you, increased information, and speed of data coming out. Finally, I'm on to my camera section. Cameras are probably my most interesting piece of hardware, my most interesting add-on, and the thing that the majority of my clients are actually using. It is 100% the number one most requested solution beyond just a standard telematics device. So my cameras can be just about anything. I've got cameras that can record for hours after you're outside of the vehicle. I've got cameras that do just about every part of your vehicle, so 360-degree coverage, night vision, day vision, you name it. I can do up to 8 cameras in a typical vehicle, but if we need more, I'm sure we can find a way around that as well. On top of that, my cameras are not just standard cameras. I actually do have cameras that are fully compatible with artificial intelligence. What that means is this camera is able to determine what your driver is doing and when your driver is doing it. You might ask, why do you need that? Well, the real reason behind that is about creating a situation for driver exoneration. It's about knowing what your driver is doing so that we can put blame where it needs to be assessed in an event of an accident. We want to make sure that we know what's going on, and if we have healthy and happy drivers behind the wheel, or if we need to replace those drivers in order to prevent future accidents. So what I'm going to take you through now is I'm going to show you a short video of one of my clients who has a heavy duty truck. So this client was actually driving the truck making a right-hand turn. What you can see in the camera in the top right and as well as the bottom left is this white vehicle, this white sedan, is attempting to pass my client on the right-hand side while my client was turning. And of course, the sedan just got crunched on the corner. So you might ask yourself, well, how's this information useful? Well, what you can see is my client was performing a textbook right-hand turn. They were signaling, information was all there. And this sedan what they basically tried doing is cutting in between the intersection and my client. The sedan probably did not realize that trucks make wide right-hand turns and did not realize the risks associated with this. And the reason why it's relevant is because commercial fleets are oftentimes found to be at fault in vehicle collisions. Commercial fleets are seen to have higher insurance, and therefore they're seen as easy pickings for, regular consumer vehicles and their insurance companies. So from our perspective, it is important to give you guys the ability to actually see what's going on and reduce any he said, she said. We don't want to have any questions. We just want to know the facts. And in this case, the fact is the driver did nothing wrong, and it was the passenger vehicle who came up from behind them problematically. Now, it's not you who's actually required to watch these videos to see the what's pulled from the analytics from the AI cameras and the artificial intelligence cameras. We can actually manage those videos for you. So when a rule gets triggered, information gets transmitted up to the cloud, we can actually take a look at those videos and identify if there's any problematic behavior within. So we can identify a video as having, let's say driver eating, driver smoking, driver not wearing a seatbelt, or we can actually identify it as no problematic behavior. Assuming there is a problem behavior, we can actually send this to be manager coached, or we can send it directly to the driver for review so that they can coach themselves. Now, I'm sure, of course, you do get situations where you realize after the fact that there might have been a problem. So we do have the ability to do a video request. So assuming that the GPS or the video camera doesn't notice a problem in the first place, you as an administrator can go in later on and actually request a video from a given time. So imagine you get a phone call. That says, hey, one of your trucks cut me off last week at 1st and 3rd at 2 p.m. Well, I can pull up a video from 2 p.m., 1st and 3rd, and see if my truck was even there in the first place. And assuming it was there, I can pull that full video, see what went on, see if my truck cut someone off, and then give that person who called in some feedback, some sort of solution to their problem. Let them know that, yes, the driver did cut them off, no, the driver did not cut them off, and here's how we're going to deal with it. A final really cool feature in my camera solution is what's called a hyperlapse video. This hyperlapse video is basically when we take a lengthy trip and we condense it into a shorter version of a video. So I can take, in this case, let's say a 5-hour long video and actually condense it into about a 1 minute length of time, where we take snippets every 10 or so minutes of the trip. So one of the real reasonable use cases that some of my clients have found is their drivers aren't allowed passengers, but occasionally they want to take a friend somewhere, give somebody a lift. So this hyperlapse video can actually show you if the driver had any passenger in their vehicle at any point during the trip. It would allow you to quickly review those 5 hours of trip time in about 30 seconds. So with that in mind, here's basically a quick summary of what those differentiators are for my ZenduCam product. So firstly, we can do coaching for your drivers. We have the ability to actually review the videos themselves coming from our AI cameras, the ability to do an automated hyperlapse and condense the videos into a shorter time frame. And finally, we've got more than 1 year of storage. So this information gets brought up into the cloud. We will store it for you for a year, which is about 12 times longer than many of our competitors. So that's pretty much it. That sums up why my cameras are a great solution. And now just a little bit about, once again, why I think GoFleet is the right partner for you. So we do offer lifetime warranties on our product. We can customize any solution according to your needs. We have the ability to use global roaming SIMs, a very, very friendly user interface. Our API is fully accessible and open so that you can plug in there with your third-party applications, or we can do it on your behalf. Most of my clients are seeing an ROI within 1 to 2 years of investment with video cameras and telematics, typically 1 or 2 months with just the GPS units themselves. These units are plug and play, battery powered or hardwired. It's all up to you. And we do offer 24/7 live support. So thank you so much for taking this time listening to my presentation. I know that a lot of you will have some questions. So if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Our phone number here at GoFleet is 1-888-998-1122. And my name is Steven Sheps, and you can feel free to email us your questions as well. Thank you and have a fantastic day.